Hi, my name is Arthur, and in the last video we made this set of leaves to put onto a tree for our isometric asset in Godot. So now we're going to make the tree, and this is pretty easy. Shift A will make a curve sapling tree gen, and this is a pretty cool add-on. If we press F9, we can call up different features for the tree. I've not played around with this too much. Let's see. We can play with the shape of the tree and experiment with what we want for that. Let's see, we have distribution, scale. You'll bring up the scale of that tree some. And well, there's lots of options to play with, but this is not going to be how to build a perfect tree. This is how to get started, and you can press F9, experiment with the settings to make different types of trees. So let's go with this tree and call that good enough. So we want to take the tree and we'll right click and let's see, convert to mesh. So this will convert it from a curve to a mesh, which is what we need. Now let's go back to our leaf image and use the move manipulator and pull our leaf image up into the tree. We're going to hide it in the tree. And what this image will be to do is to generate the particles. So let's change our pivot back to median point, so our move tool is with our leaves, and just try to get that stuck onto a branch if we can. Hard to get used to looking at things in 3D after spending so much time in GIMP. So that looks like good enough. We're going to scale that leaf down a bit to give it more a size that's realistic for this tree. And we'll leave the leaves a bit big. So that's all fine. We'll select our tree. Let's go into shading and give it a texture. So we'll add a new texture. We're going to make something very simple and basic here. So we'll get into the orange, pull some gray into that to make it a brown. I'm going to call that reasonable. Let's add a texture. So we'll add a Musgrave texture. Let's do a height and give a texture to this thing. So we're going to go into the normal. Let's just plug that directly into the normal. It might not be the best way to go about it, but like I said, I am actually quite rusty at Blender, so it's been quite a few years since I've done a Blender tutorial. So we're just going to pull on the scale, and we're watching the action on the tree to get something that looks somewhat modeled like this. And as we increase the scale, the modeling gets smaller. Now, that's it. That's all I'm going to do for the tree. Because this isn't really about making a perfect tree. It's just making a tree. So we're going to tab into edit mode now. We need to select a vertex group. So we're going to look at the tree from the top, and what we're selecting here is a group of vertexes to emit the leaves from. So we'll circle select, bring up a bigger circle, and highlight the outsides of the tree, which is the tips of the branches from that perspective. I'm going to change that so it's less distracting. We'll press number pad 3 to select it from the side. Oops, I accidentally deselected that for some reason. So we'll just do that again. And that's what I was trying to do. So we'll look at it from the side view and we'll do the same thing. Again, we're just selecting around the outside of the tree. We'll look at it from a front view, and the selection is pretty much complete. We don't want to end up with leaves everywhere all over the branches, just sort of more or less where they would appear on a tree. So we're going to call that good enough. We're going to create a vertex group from that. So we'll add it. We'll just leave the default name of group, and we'll assign those vertices that are selected to the group. Now we're going to tab into object mode. We're going to add a particle emitter. We're going to call it, use the hair. So we'll put it onto hair. Well, that looks nice. We have a hairy tree now. So let's see, we'll go into render, and instead of render as path, we're going to render as object. Now, for our object, we can take the color picker tool, come up into our scenes here, and just select the leaf. Now it's going to emit the leaf. If we come further down, let's see, weights, vertex groups. Oh, no, it's up in render. We're going to change the scale. We're going to increase the scale of the leaves. Scale randomness, we can do that a little bit. Increase the scale. We can play with the number of leaves. Then we'll come down to vertex groups. We're going to change density to group, and that'll put the leaves onto the area we selected, and that's our tree. So in the next video, we'll come back. We'll set the scene up a little bit to render an image and look at how to render the image so that it's suitable for an isometric asset in Godot. So until then, take care.